Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. We are moving into the middle of April 1984. Big times for World Class. We are less than a month away from the Big Texas Stadium show. We move into the midpoint of 84 with a very basic show this week. Basic because there's 4 segments, 3 matches. The first is a highlight segment of former Von Erich's matches and kind of a music video, and then some highlights of them in the ring. Three first round matches this week. Newcomer Mike Gallagher. I don't know if this is his first foray into world class, but I think it's the first time I've seen him here. Versus the Missing Link. Obviously a opportunity to get the Link over, and like I said, the first let's say third of the show, there to specifically highlight previous matches of the Von Erichs and the like. We also do see a highlighted match returning of Under the Giant and Iceman King Parsons versus the Super Destroyers from a couple of weeks back. So I mean, they do. I don't know if I'd say waste time on the world class program, but they certainly do show a lot of reruns. And I'm not as I guess I'd say at this point I've helped to book some places, but never had a full promotion. When someday I have my full promotion, I will not be heavy on the reruns of footage. My basic philosophy is either be there or buy a stream at this point, or purchase the footage. Maybe a 60 to 90 second highlight package. I can see that for people that are not familiar, but wasting 10-15 minutes of a an hour program on previous footage, not my thing. Missing Link and Mike Gallagher, obviously the idea here to get Gallagher, to get Missing Link over and use Gallagher to do it. Link, who I don't know that they necessarily found a full-on role for Link even at this point. He's part of Akbar's stable, but not really clearly defined. Is he a main guy? Is he a main focus for Akbar? Is he a minor focus? Is he there to fill voids? What's he about? Lots of headbutts from Link, by the way. One thing I like about the Missing Link character is you never really know what he's going to do, and you can kind of see that he's not all there. I mean, it would be believable to a youngster that there might be something up with the guy, even though it's a character and you know it. But he doesn't necessarily hook legs all the time. Doesn't have a lot of wrestling traditional acumen, at least in this character. Obviously, during the 70s and earlier 80s, before the gimmick, he did, but not here. But it wouldn't make sense for him to have it here. He does have a brutal fall forward slam that he utilizes quite a bit when he needs to get advantages. Interesting that he does go to Akbar for his guidance, for lack of a better term, and also prone to using the diving headbutt upon occasion, which we would later see as a major force for guys like Harley Race and that. So using the head as an offensive weapon, pretty big thing for the Missing Link, and diving headbutt slash splash combination, easy for me to say. Also a big thing here for the Link. Link obviously gets your victory. We move on to Super Destroyer number 1 against Kerry Von Erich. Kerry, literally weeks now away from the championship match with Flair to honor David in Texas Stadium. Obviously the biggest match of his career, and a lot of politics went into the negotiation of the match. Kerry obviously has to look good here. That is the point of the match with the Super Destroyer. Super D does that very well. Kerry maybe goes a little longer than he should in the match as he's grabbing arm bars and holds. I don't know that I wouldn't have him in this position, 3 weeks out from Texas Stadium, something like that. Maybe have him defeat his opponent in, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. They do go a little longer than perhaps they should here, although when you have a small roster, you also have to think about filling time and filling TV time and that. Obviously, cutoffs by the Destroyer, including big boots and the like, get him going where he wants to go. And beating Kerry down, Kerry always looks pretty decent when he's in there with bigger guys. And a outside in suplex, Kerry kicks out strongly from that. So part of the telling of the story too is just Kerry looking like a stronger guy. He does get a victory here, obviously. It would be foolish for him not to gain a victory mere weeks from his, attempt at the World Championship. But gains a victory wandering through the crowd post-match, and Kerry is looking very good. Almost the victim of the superplex, though, but Kerry is able to turn that around, shove him off, and kind of use a diving back elbow, which Kerry does not look coordinated enough to pull off, and it wasn't exactly the prettiest of things, but it was successful in gaining him the victory. Your main event this week, a tag team match, Buddy Roberts and Kelly Kiniski versus the other Von Erichs, and I'm not quite sure about the Kiniski and Roberts pairing. Seems like it's rather random, but Mike Von Erich and Kevin are in your main event. I don't know that I wouldn't have put Kerry in the main event slot on the program. Again, weeks from the biggest match of his career. I would want him in a position where he's closing the show. Maybe even 2 weeks, both weeks before the match with Flair. But that's just, revisionist history and some looking at what it looks like to be in that position. Roberts and Buddy Roberts and Mike Von Erich have squared off before. Mike coming along pretty well considering his age and lack of experience. Does reasonably better than many would expect on the mat, thanks to Buddy Roberts carrying him through. Kelly Kiniski also able to keep him somewhat focused, and it's also clear that Mike is being thrust into a position to kind of protect the Von Erich name, and we do see Kerry make his way to ringside as fear that the Freebirds are going to interfere becomes an issue. Mike takes more of the match than would be expected generally. Kevin seems to be wearing different trunks than normal, which is just an odd observation. So used to him wearing the yellow, it's weird when he doesn't. And again, the Von Erichs do clean house quite a bit, and do get a victory with a bit of a interference from Michael Hayes, not going according to plan. Use of the boot of Michael Hayes to gain a partial, disqualification victory. And we move on to closer to the end of the month. We are literally weeks away from the biggest show in wrestling history at this point in 1984. Stay right here for that and so much more. Till next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.